For me, I think today, like Jio network, we serve close to 5 exabyte a month. And when we roll out 50 million homes in India, literally in 1600 cities, with every home we give 100 Mbps to 1 gig connection. You can imagine this 5 exabyte going to 500 exabyte in short term of 5 years is something which is possible. So when the traffic grows on your network 100 times, and that is not something which we prove in mobility that is possible, and the same thing which is going to happen in the fixed line. When the traffic grows, how do you design your network at hyper scale, which can grow both vertically in the scale and both horizontally in the scale? So SDN, NFV and telco cloud, they are something which is given to us. We can't escape it. I mean, we need to define what is going to happen now. So you need to think in terms of cloud infrastructure, that your cloud could be in the public cloud, your cloud could be a private cloud, your cloud could be your telco cloud, your IT cloud, and you should have a cloud agnostic orchestrator in the SDN NFV world. And that is one of the challenges we face, that what we want is we want to move towards more Kubernetes based framework, where most of the DNFs literally works as microservices pods in the Kubernetes framework. And that Kubernetes orchestrator becomes the cloud agnostic orchestrator for us, where I can move the workloads from public cloud, let's say AWS, Google or Azure, to private cloud, to telco cloud, to IT cloud very seamlessly. That is an essential thing today in all of the services we talk. Today, for example, when we discuss SDN NFV, we talk about VNF Manager. I think that era is probably going to be over, because there are much cheaper technologies using Kubernetes framework which you can achieve the same. The VNF providers have to bring their VNF as microservices and as pods for that matter. This is one change we want to see. The second change we want to see, that entire, even if you access the packet, let us say in LTE when we access the packet at the EPC, or in FTTX we access the packet at BNG, now the gateways will become more universal and they will become closer to the edge. That is where the SDN will play the major role, that those workloads will play at the edge. But the important thing, even if you access the packet, how do you serve it? If let us say I want to play the Luka Chupi movie, and your movie has been downloaded by a home in a society, are you downloading the movie again to that society if the user is asking? Or you are building a home CDN? What is the role of a CDN at home? What is the role of the CDN in the building? What is the role of the CDN in the city? And what is the role of the CDN in the state? And does these four type of CDN, or a hierarchical CDN, is working seamlessly among each other? That is where the scaling of the network can happen. Otherwise, 5 exabyte becoming 500 exabyte, you can't serve it economically. That is the second thing we need to enable. The third thing we need to see in terms of the cloud infrastructure, that are you planning to build your cloud, which workloads require which kind of GPU or CPU. CPU, you have to choose that which CPU you want as x86 architecture versus ARM architecture, RISC processors, because the costing is very different in the three CPU, in the three architectures. So the cloud formation in the edge, or cloud formation at the core, and selecting the right compute platform for it is an essential part, and that is where I think our solution have to make sense, that which have to work at GPU level, which workloads have to work at GPU level, which workloads are good for the CPU, means Intel based CPUs, and which are good for the ARM based processor thing. The other thing which is important is that most of the devices which we are going to use in the home, Are they software defined? Are these devices are enabled using SD technology? That is why we are working on something called SG LAN. That is the software gigabit LAN technologies. Is how do you define your gateways which are universal to 4G, 5G, or fiber or enterprise connection, and how can you preserve it? So these are the upcoming challenges we are facing and we are solving it. The key point, I think, for me, I think personally, the key point is that how do I achieve the minimum cost per bit by designing the right hyperscale architecture using SDN, NFV, and telco cloud. Thank you. I look after JioFiber as a business and network both. So for me, beside the technology excitement of SDN and NFV cloud, at the end what matters is that what's the cost I serve per customer and what is the revenue I get per customer. So if the technology is making sense, then I pick it, otherwise I don't pick it. Just for the heck of the technology, I don't pick it. So why SDN, NFV and telco cloud or tel cloud is critical for me in Jio is that as I said in the beginning, it's because of the hyperscale. I just can't scale the network from 5 exabyte to 500 exabyte without these technologies. Now, the second thing, as Mudit said, the TCO word he used, I'll just extend it, that if my workloads are using servers, and those servers are common across many functions, then of course I save the power bill of those servers because now they can produce more BNO traffic processing than the usual legacy appliances. So I save the power bill, so my operating cost goes low. And capital expenses of course becomes lower because I have to purchase less number of appliances. Their AMC which I have to pay becomes lower for me. And third, on top of all these things, just to conclude my part, the first and foremost thing which we see is the customer experience. Because if I am sitting in a home, if I am sitting in my home only, and I just came out from my phone which was latched on the voice over Wi-Fi to outside voice over LTE, or I'm watching a movie from Wi-Fi and I go to LTE. Wi-Fi, when I say at home, I'm talking Wi-Fi latch on to JioFiber as a FTTH connection. And then when I go out, the customer experience has to be fixed mobile convergence. It has to be a seamless experience. And those enablement requires the same IP session. The session cannot break. You can't restart the movie, you can't just say the okay, session is broken, now you restart it, then you go out. So you need to make sure that converged experience for the customer is the key, is the starting point. The second point which you have to see from your perspective is that actually are you getting any capital advantage, capex and opex savings, whatever technologies you are selecting. And the third thing which is important is of course it's a future-proof technology. So these are the three mantras for any new technology which is coming on the plane.